Alright, what's up guys? It's Will, back here again from King's Cards. So, I promised that I would bring this deck back post Phantom Nightmare. It took me a little bit longer than expected. I had like the regionals that I played in with Voiceless Voice and everything like that. And now I have a little bit of spare time to get back to this deck. So, once again, we've got Floowandereeze and we've got a $50 budget. So kind of like what I want to do with this, so not next weekend is another off weekend. Kind of need a little bit of time for like life outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! But then the weekend right after that, we're gonna get right back into the grind. We've got OTS championships that weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the deck, and this is what I plan to play at those OTS championships. And the idea is I want to be able to take a $50 deck and either win the OTS championship, or two, I want to top the OTS championship, just to show that like with a $50 deck you can go out and like get your invite to nationals if you want to, go get your really cool play mat, have like a little bit of bragging rights amongst your friends. I do think this is the best deck that you can just spend $50 on and go out and win that. And with that being said, I have been planning on doing a giveaway for this channel. I want to do something a little bit like special for you guys, because I know we've got a lot of new faces around here and we're growing, slowly but surely we're getting there. So all I want you to do, like, comment, and subscribe down below, and that will enter you into the giveaway to win a $50 TCGPlayer gift card. So I'll just choose a winner, pin the comment, and then I'll email you the code for the gift card. But like I said, all you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and that'll just go ahead and enter you into the giveaway, and then maybe you can buy your own $50 Floowandereeze deck and just not have too many people like you at whatever tournament it is that you go to. But no, I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and get into it. As usual, we'll go ahead and have a little bit of discussion about the cards that we're playing and whatnot. So pretty standard, we got Triple Robin. This will never change as long as this deck exists. Triple Eaglin, this will always pretty much be a 3 of unless we get a bird that's just better than this. One Talk and one Stree. So with the new card that came out, Swallow's Cowrie, I kind of had a little bit of a debate with myself, and I had also talked with another friend of mine about this deck and kind of some of the things that I wanted to do with that card, because for that, I feel like for that card to be good, you have to already have combo. Which isn't entirely true, because you can like have these two cards which are not full combo by themselves, and you could just like Cowrie these away from hand or field and then go grab Robin. And I thought about like bumping these up, but I didn't think that like fixed the consistency issue with this deck. So I just went ahead and left these at 1 and 1. I think these are fine at this rate. Like you're gonna grab them whenever you need to, but like you're not gonna grab these cards early on, because like you need Robin to go into Eagle to get into M-Pin, yada yada yada. Everybody knows standard combo with this deck. So I just kept it at like the bare minimum, like 8 level 1 birds, and didn't really want to change that up too much. For the tribute summons, double M-Pin, 1 Ryza, 1 Avian. So this is still pretty standard. You play the 1 Avian, have the Omni Negate that you can just keep looping over and over. Mega Ryza, same thing. Double M-Pin, I had a little bit of discussion with myself as well with the new card that like, okay, so what if I bumped M-Pin up to 3, so then like if they try to interact with my M-Pin, I can Cowrie my M-Pin away and go grab another M-Pin. But that also just doesn't fix anything with this deck. You're putting more tribute summons into the deck. And the tributes are never like really that great to open. Unless you open like combo with it, but even then I'd probably just rather it be a different card. So I just figured I would play like the minimum amount of these that I think is possible, and I think 4 is always just going to be the minimum. So that is it for the engine monsters, and then we have triple map. This, like I said, this will always stay the same, pretty standard. Triple advent, same thing here. You just need to be able to search your maps, good time card. And then dodging imperms, dodging targeting unexplored winds. This was another card that I had also thought about bumping up to more, because I remember Ryan, you had played a list a little while ago, like Nat season 2023, and he was playing like multiple copies of these cards. I just really didn't want to get into that, because I don't think that I play enough Winged Beast to facilitate this to where it's like consistently always drawing you a bunch of cards. But like this card is so good in like the mid to late game, it's just like a mandatory 1 of. Then more engine, pretty much engine, triple Prosby, triple duality. These cards will always just be so incredible in this deck. So that is it for the spell card engine, for the main spell card engines. And we've got triple copies of the new cards, Swallow's Cowrie. So this card kind of negates the purpose of you ever needing to play Book of Moon or Book of Eclipse again, unless we just enter into a format to where those cards are like super powerful again, like how they were in like Cash format and like Pearly was sitting there on the outside. But this card is just absolutely like incredible for this deck. It just gives you another card that gives you like more opportunities to turn some of your brick hands into better hands, dodge imperms, dodge veilers. Just keep playing the game as much as possible. I really, really like this card. I think it does a lot for the deck. Just makes it where you don't have to play those book cards anymore, which those cards were never really that great to open. 1 copy of Terraforming. So this is pretty standard. Like, it does play into Droll a little bit, but this deck already loses to Droll if you don't open Shifter or you don't open Di-Fi, so you're just kind of like, you know, you might as well play into it. 1 copy of Dreaming Town. This is also pretty standard. I don't think this will ever change. This is the 1 trap. Never more, never less. Now for the non-engine. I believe it's 10 slots of non-engine this time around, so it's not bad. Triple with the Boy. This card is what keeps this deck in meta contention. So like I said in the last time that we were here, as long as this card's at 3, we're going to keep playing it, and we're just going to keep letting these birds fly. So then for the spells, we've got Shifter's Home and the Dimensional Fissure. So this card's actually like something that I do want to talk about, and like why I'm main decking this, because some people think this card is only like good going first. So the reason being is that when you're going second, the predominant matchup that you're playing these days are the fire decks. And so when you're going second, you can activate Di-Fi, and you're already never losing to Princess because you don't special summon. So what you'll do is you'll go activate Di-Fi, and then it shuts off their Garunix, where their Garunix can go pop a Kieran and bring the Arvada back. So it's just another like really cool layer of interruption that you have going for you, where you can just activate this going second against the fire decks, and you pretty much shut off most of their interruptions except for hand traps. So I really did like this card in the main deck. Just another unfair card that you can play. This is kind of weird because I know a lot of people, like, I haven't seen anybody playing this, and I know some people call this card bad, this format. I played triple Dark Ruler in this deck, and kind of the reason being is that this deck, like, going second in the format right now, the fire decks are putting up just a whole bunch of Appaloosas, and Appaloosa is a problem for this deck. I ended up cutting out the Samorg Bird of Perfection, the level 4 guy, which kind of helps you play around Appaloosa, by just, like, chain blocking your birds and whatnot. So since I took that out, I wanted to play a card that just kind of like generically deals with all the problems that this deck has going second, which is most of the time just because you're not really worried about back row that much anymore because you have Cower, you have Advent. So the Dark Ruler, this shuts off Arvadas, this shuts off Appaloosas, this shuts off the entire field of the Voiceless Voice deck. So kind of the reason is that I was looking at first into cards like Droplet. This deck can't play Droplet because of Shifter, so you're not really like trying to like play Droplet, so this card was the next best option that I could play. And this card also just has like kind of cool interactions going into other like rogue decks of the format with the combo decks, kind of like the Manadiums, the Infernobles that are still hanging around. So I really do like this card. And through my testing, I've actually found this card is actually really, really solid into most of the format, and it kind of handles the problems that Flu needs. And then the last card, the 40th card, was 1 Cosmic. I couldn't decide if I wanted this to be 1 copy of Cosmic or if I wanted to be 1 copy of Samorg, the Bird of Perfection. I just ended up going with 1 Cosmic because this card is also a pseudo board breaker in its own right against the fire decks, because all you do is that like they'll put up their board, so they'll have like Appaloosa plus Zelantis and then plus Arvada. You can just go Cosmic, target the Fire King Island, and then banish that, and then Island triggers, you clear the Appaloosa. So this card's kind of like the same like little thing there, and then they don't really get any value off their Garunix at that point. So that's it for the main deck, 40 cards. Never play any more than that. You don't want to brick. Same thing as last time with the extra deck here is literally just my Voiceless Voice extra deck. This is not counted into the budget, right? Because I don't think we're going to be playing like some of these things that are played in Voiceless, right? So you don't need your extra deck in this deck. The only card that ever truly comes up in this extra deck is Typhon, and that's just because, like, it might come up every now and again. Nobody's really playing Zombie World. I know the new, like, super heavy Snake Eye deck is playing Baguska as, like a option B, but, you know, I don't think you really need, like, outs to Baguska at that point. You could if you wanted to. I think, what would be, like, a good option? The code... Yeah, like if you wanted an out to Baguska, you could just play something like Codebreaker, Virus Swordsman, which I think that's probably the safest because you don't want to like go into SPs or anything like that because that's like super expensive. But I think that card's like 10 cents, and then it just has its attack is higher than Baguska's defense, so you can just beat over it that way. So now for the extra deck, triple copies of Ghost Spell. So this card, I didn't really want to play any hand traps, but I think this card is actually kind of important going second into the fire decks, because the fire decks, like, main interactions that they're going to have with you is going to be Appaloosa, and then if you don't have, like, access to Shifter or Di-Fi, it's going to be them bringing the Garunix out of the grave, and then Garunix effect, destroying a Kieran from the deck, and then Kieran bringing the Arvada back. So all you do is you just go spell the Garunix, and that kind of handles that problem. This card also just kind of like doubles into Labby, it doubles into Voiceless Voice. I think it's just like a really good generic hand trap, but you kind of use this like, you'll never really use this against the fire decks when you're going second. You'll never use it during their turn. You mostly just hold this in your hand for when the Garunix is going to come out of the graveyard, and then you're good to go. Then triple copies of enemy controllers. So this card's kind of in the same vein as like Swallow's Cowrie, the Advents, but this card, I really think this card's only good in this deck going second. Just gives you more way to like prevent targeting, and then this card's also just Snatch Steal while preventing targeting. So this card's super, super cool. I like this card a lot. It's really good going into the fire decks. And then we have the other two Cosmics. I just wanted more options to out like problematic spells and traps that are on the field. I think the island, like, that's kind of like the main board breaker scenario. I wanted the Cosmics just so I can go ahead and out the barrier for the Voiceless Voice, and then like I can hopefully like try and sit there and combo up and then just attack over the low. But no, Cosmic's really good. Big problem for this deck is anti-spell, and this card also just handles that, so I just wanted to have outs for everything, and Cosmic's just such a great generic card right now. One copy of Change of Heart. This kind of goes alongside the kind of like having outs for Appaloosa. It might, it might seem that I'm like focusing really heavy into one card with this deck, but if there is one card that is stopping this deck from performing really well, it is just Appaloosa, and Appaloosa is the most, I would say, the most made extra deck card in the potential tier 0 deck of the format. So I just want to have as many outs as possible to it. But Change of Heart is also just a really good generic card that's going around. 3 copies of Evenly. So this card's kind of the same thing as any other board breaker. You just want to be able to clear your opponent's field so you can simplify the game state down to Flu's level, and then start building your way up, gaining advantage, managing your resources really well. And this card just helps you do that so well, because the only deck that's really putting up those Omni Negates is the pure Snake Eyes deck. And for that, you have Dark Rulers in the main deck to try and handle those Omni Negates like the Barons and the Savages. And then you can just come in and clean up with Evenlies after that if you open both of them, which isn't like something that's super hard to do because you play so many pot cards. You do max out on the Evenlies and the Dark Rulers, so I really like Evenly this format. And then last, we have the FTK card. This is the best Flu card outside of Shifter. This card is just so incredible. I wish that we had access to Thrust like at a cheaper price so we could play that in the $50 deck, and then we could like main deck one of these, so when we do get like Drolled and it hurts, or if we do get Ashed and it hurts, then we can just go Thrust into this and hope to keep playing the game. But yeah, guys, so that is the $50 Flu deck. So like I said, I believe it's March the 2nd is the date that I'm going to play this at the OTS Championship, so I'll like come back and probably just make a post on the channel and let you guys know how I did with it. But again, if you want to join in for the $50 TCGPlayer gift card giveaway, just make sure you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe. Alright guys, we'll see y'all with the next one.